धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापः निःशेषजाड्यापः।
and colleagues that we have lost during COVID years. They will always be in our hearts and keep guiding us. In the collective aspiration, commitment, and creative efforts that makes MICA such an outstanding ecosystem for ideas, learning, and education innovations, very often we focus on growth and journey outside. Today, let's focus on growth and journey within. As a precious reminder for all of us this evening, I extend a warm welcome to Mr. Varun Dua, the chief guest for today's ceremony. Life does come a full circle in this beautiful moment as we welcome a MICAN back to the campus as the chief guest of the convocation. Varun, your journey as an entrepreneur and a great professional will continue to impact MICA, the nation, and the world, and even inspire people like me. Welcome again. I welcome Dr. Tridip Shurud, Chairperson, MICA Governing Council. Thank you for always guiding us, all with your wisdom and timely guidance. We are very grateful, sir. Our special thanks to the distinguished members of the MICA Governing Council present here with us. You help us navigate any and all opportunities and challenges to ensure MICA's integrity, growth, and achievements. I welcome Dr. Sailendra Raj Mehta, President and Director, MICA, who owe you a thanks and gratitude every single day, and let me add every single minute, every single second, for your leadership and support to the entire MICA community. Thank you. I welcome the faculty members and the staff members. You're all the mind and heart and soul of MICA. You nurtured this campus and community with your unconditional care and relentless efforts. We are eternally grateful to each one of you. I welcome the parents and the special guests. This is the day to celebrate the journey of MICA's students. We are very proud of MICA's graduating students, their meaningful journeys, impactful work, and promising lives ahead. And of course, most important and very important, I welcome all my dear students. You are the raison d'etre of this institute, and you will always remain so. Welcome you all. May I request the chief guest, the chairperson, MICA Governing Council, the president and director, MICA, in the presence of members of the Governing Council, to light the convocation lamp.
May I request Madhvi, Charu, Sakamveri Mukta, Twisa, Simran, Akshata and Aditya to deliver the invocation.
Check, check, check.
Check, check. Check, check.
Check.
Check, check. Check. Check, check. वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरा गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भव निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभम गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसे भी सच। बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धर्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि।
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम कुल हु अल्लाहु अहद अल्लाहुस समद लम यलिद वलम युलद वलम यकुल लहु कुफुवन अहद।
Lead kindly light amid encircling gloom, lead thou me on. The night is dark and I am far from home, lead thou me on. Keep thou my feet, I do not ask to see the distant scene, one step enough for me. Sharda Sharda Buddha Vadanam Vadanam Bhuje Sarvada Sarvada Smarkam Sannidhim Sannidhim Kriyat Kamaduge Viprakarshita Lakshmi Kamaduge Viprakarshita Lakshmi Kirti Sute Dushkritam Yahinasti Tam cha Vedam Mataram Mangalanam Dhenu Dhira Sunrita Vachamahu Keyurana Vibhushayanti Purusham Harana Chandrojvala
स्नानं न विलेपनं न कुसुमं नालङ्कृता मूर्धजा
वाणिकं समलङ्करोति पुरुषं या संस्कृता धार्यते
सततम्
वाग्भूषणं भूषणं वाग्भूषणं भूषणं वाग्भूषणं भूषणम्
Thank you. May I request Ms. Tanvi Panchal to give a bouquet of flowers to the chief guest. May I request Dr. Tridip Suhrud, Chairperson MICA Governing Council, to give a shawl to the chief guest. May I request Professor Shailendra Raj Mehta to give a memento to the chief guest. I invite Dr. Shailendra Raj Mehta, President and Director MICA, to confer the diplomas.
Candidates of the 3-year Fellow Program in Management Communications of the 5th and 6th batches, 2-year Postgraduate Diploma in Management Communications of the 25th, 26th, and 27th batches, 2-year Postgraduate Diploma in Management of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd batches of the 1-year Postgraduate Certificate Program in Crafting Creative Communications of the 29th, 30th, and 31st batches. Please rise. Respected Chairperson, MICA Governing Council, and members of the MICA Governing Council, I recommend to you 5 students of the 4-year Fellow Program in Management Communications, 606 students of the 2-year Postgraduate Diploma in Management Communications, and 122 students of the Postgraduate Certificate Program in Crafting Creative Communications, who've met and fulfilled all the requirements for the programs, and request the Mudra Foundation for Communications, Research and Education, and the MICA Governing Council to confer the diplomas and certificates on them.
Members of the MICA Governing Council, may the fellow titles, diplomas, and certificates be conferred upon these candidates? Yes. Thank you. By the authority given to me by Mudra Foundation for Communications, Research and Education and MICA Governing Council, I confer upon you the fellow titles, postgraduate diplomas and certificates. We trust and believe that in your life, as you assume leadership responsibilities in industry and other roles, you will serve the needs of the society, communities, and people at all times.
The respective candidates will now individually receive their fellow titles, diplomas, and certificates from the chief guest, as the registrar and the secretary governing council will call out their names.
May I request, before I start announcing the names, may I request the parents to please be seated all your we will be taking a photograph of your wards receiving diploma, and we will communicate it to you and we will provide it to them. So now I will start announcing the names of students of FPM 5th and 6th batch, PGP 25 and CCC 29th batch. Saurabh Das, Payal Trivedi, Karman Khanna. Arshavi Butch, Sabhya Sood, Swati Sarma. अन्वेषा बंदोपाध्याय, श्रेया सौलेश्वरकर, निधु अग्रवाल, करुणा तेजवानी, सुमेधा उप्पल, साक्षी जानी, सुरभि गुप्ता, सिद्धार्थ रोहेला, शिप्रा अग्रवाल, अपर्णा नेरोरकर, अंतरा फुलोरिया. श्रुतिका साथेनापल्ली, याशिका बोरा, मृणाल गौर, सेरेना पानेसर, रिचा नेवतिया and Anushka Mitra. मेघा बैद, राजवी दोषी, अमृता बालचंद्रन, दिव्या मेहता, शालिनी सिंह, अहमान खान, ऐश्वर्या खरबंदा, शिवम गोसाई, नेहा कल्याणी, सौम्या श्रीवास्तव, प्रिया दोषी, आकांक्षा पटेल, देविका तोडी, प्रगति किला, कीर्ति जैन, पुनीत कौर, नित्या सुधाकर, सोरेन भटनागर, आरुषि अग्रवाल. देवेसी दर, रिया सावंत, समृति, स्नेहिल जैन, Monarch Patel, Radhika Pandey. Sadhana Khattar, Joey Shah, Sefali Bheda, Ritesh Gupta, Tavisi Gutgutia, Atishay Jain, Akanksha Singh, Aditya Narang, Siddharth Goyal, Abhinay Tyagarajan, Tanvi Bhatia, Pranav Joshi, Adarsh Anand, Tanvi Chaudhary, Vihan Pathak, Utkarsh Srivastava, Shikha Singh, Renji Krishnan, Rishabh Bang, Siddharth Singh, Aditya Mankad, Akanksha, Manoj Verma, and Jeffrey Modak. Vivek Jaikumar, Rishabh Bhasin, Gurudeksha Alang, Sakshi Saxena, Prerit Bhuptani, Raghav Gulati, Snehasis Panda, Shreyans Singhi, Aditya Malik, Vibhansu Kumar, Aditya Rahandani, and Siddharth Kuvera. Rakshit Malhotra, Abhishek Kumar, Ishan Gupta, Sagar, Varun Goyal, and Shashank Bhagchandani. Mohit Jain, Vikram Kakireni, Tanay Khare, Kashyap Sanghani, Shubhanshu Singh, Sayantan Guha, Jamal Desai, Akshat Kumar, Kausik Deka, Pratik, Jinendra Ahrekar, Sankalp Dikshit, Ayushman Mohan, Tanveer Singh, Jehan Sadri, Now I will announce the name of CCC students. Marisha Vadera, Surbhi Gupta, Mansha Arora, Harsita Kalra, Kartika Pillai, Shreya Tyagi, Supriya, Vallari Sharma, Arunima Patni, Diksha Das, Priyanka De, Kudrat Handa. Chavi Saklani, Sweta Pandey, Soumyata Chauhan, Astha Gupta, Janki Sher Dalal, and Shreya Patwa. Khevna Gandhi, Anisa Nath, Akshaya Deshpande, Megha Pandya, Shreya Chima, and Aman Madan. Aneri Dosi, Vedika Sa, Nilesha Dalvi, Anshani Pothiwala, Chintan Pandey, Ashwin Yadav. Srihari Iyer, Raj Kamal, Shashwat Srivastava, Avinash Serao, Aditya Sharma, Soumyanshu Behera. Now I announce the name of students of PGP 26 and CCC 30. Ayushi Sharma, Sakshi Vishwa, Niharika Mondal, Simran Sachdeva, and Cherry. Anjali. Tarun Ruparel, Ruchi Dagwane, Akanksha Batra, Juhi Shah, Roop Katha Sarkar, and Taranjot Kaur. Jehi Jha, आयुषी अग्रवाल, कोमल खांडूजा, आस्था श्रीवास्तव, अंकिता केशरी, कीर्ति आर्यन, यश हल्दंकर, अर्पित बछावत, आकाश देवरानी, पीएम शिवानी, प्रगति पोद्दार and Snigdha Jain. अनंत वर्मा, नम्रता तिवारी, बिपाशा रॉय, धारा गांधी, अक्षता भामी दिवमकल्ला, स्मृति गौर, प्रिया पटेल, जयश्री मित्तल, मेधा चौधरी, इशिता, प्रणीति, संजना मनोज, शिवाली पंत, प्रणीता बालसुब्रमण्यम, खुशबू चोपड़ा, मल्लिका फतेहपुरिया, रिया रामू, ज्योति जाजू, Sanjana, please proceed. अध्यासाकार मानसी गुंडाले, शिवानी गोटिकर, आशी जैन, रमा सुब्रमण्यन, आंचल ग्रोवर, यश गुप्ता, कृतिका डे, श्वेत प्रदा रथ, आकांक्षा कार, सुरभि पांडे, समर्था नारंग, श्रद्धा कायकुरा, भावी दोषी, सिमरन होरा, अदिति गर्ग, अर्चिता झा, शारांश जैन, नहीं उस हीमा जोशी, शिवांशी, सान्या सेठी, मोहम्मद सलमान, सोफिया करीम, श्रुति चित्रा, निष्ठा नायक, रोशन नागनाथन, कौशल उपाध्याय, अनीशा, केहा शर्मा, तान्या चटवाल, राधिका चोपड़ा, सर्वेश बीजूमणि, डिम्पल विजयवर्गी, गरिमा पांडे, अवनी शितोले, श्रेया, श्रेयसी रॉय, वेनी जैन, रश्मि नायक, अद्वैत जोशी, अर्पित सुराना, उदित सिंह, निकिता गर्ग, दीपांशु अग्रवाल, समीक्षा मिश्रा, याशिका जैन, संकेत जोशी, चिराग रात्रा, मिलिंद पटनायक, अनुभव गोयल, पीयूष गोस्वामी, क्षितिज प्रसाद, मधुर गुप्ता, ऋतिक जैन, अश्विन जयकुमार, आयुष पांडे, अभिकेंदु रॉय, ध्रुव गौर, श्रुति रेड्डी, शिवांक श्रीवास्तव, आमिर रियाज, हर्षित अग्रवाल, पद्मा आर, श्वेता तिवारी, नितप्रीत चावला, अपूर्व अस्थाना, गौरव परमार, निवेद भारद्वाज, भरत गंभीर, सिद्धार्थ चौहान, नचिकेता त्रिपाठी, राघव अग्रवाल, दीपांशु धूलिया, क्षितिज मदान, रयान डिसूजा, सुदक्षिण सेट्टी, पर्व श्रीवास्तव, अर्पित राज, ईसाम सेठी, निनाद खरे, अरवान मोगरेलिया, रेबाला अखिल, शुभम जैन, स्वराज देवघरिया, धनंजय चिदम्बरम, मुकुंद मुंद्रा, शशांक ज्योतिषी, अहराज अहमद, संप्रीत बासु, धौला सौरभ, जयेश गवंडे, गगनदीप बिष्ट, चिरंजीव बाल, मल्हार व्यास, पुलकित शर्मा, आलोक बद्री, रचित सक्सेना, असित शर्मा, परिचित सेठी, विभोर गजभिये, शशांक शर्मा, अनिरुद्ध भारद्वाज। शशांक जोशी, रौनक सिंह, उत्कर्ष श्रीवास्तव, शुभेंदु अभिषेक, शिवांक माथुर, वंशज गोयल, मैथ्यू अब्राहम, आशीष थवानी, दिव्यांश शुक्ला, कुलदीप राजपुरोहित, मंथन अंधारिया। जोशुआ मिलवानी, राहुल पहल, वकुल भारद्वाज, आदित्य सेठिया, मयंक अग्रवाल, अमन ग्रोवर। साकिब करीमी, जुबीन दरबार, राहत मेहरा, हर्ष शाह, सिद्धार्थ नायर, सिद्धार्थ। निशांत शेट्टी, कृष्णा चतुर्वेदी, तुषार वर्मा, मुकुंद जोशी, विकास राय, मानस मोहन। Now, I will announce the names of CCC students. Madhusri Dabke, ऋतुजा घुले, पुण्या अरोरा, यशस्वी पचबुद्धे, कृतिका खैतान and आकृति। श्वेता भारती, सिल्वी कासलीवाल, अक्षिका शर्मा, पूजा मनोत, तन्वी अप्रित, जूही समदसानी। दृष्टि चिखल, वसुधा सोधानी, ध्रुवी शाह, अविरल जैन, मिनी शर्मा, वेमू अम्बरीशा। आदित्य गोलापल्ली, अनुष्का कपूर, प्रकृति शारदा, ऋषि कोमेज, मेहक साहनी, यामिनी गौर। Apurva Menon, Nidhi Netravalkar, Anil Alexander, Mikhail Joshi, Sharon De Silva, Biplav Nayak. Chaitanya Dorwat, Harshit Nandu, Tejas Setti, Aviral Grover, and Espandan Mahajan. हाँ कहाँ है
मेरा नाम अनाउंस हो गया है।
हाँ
आप खाली नाम बोल दो इसको खड़ी इधर।
हाँ गरिमा you go alone na Garima. Now I'm going to announce the names of PGP 27th batch and CCC 31st. Sarvari Rane, Yasika Jain, Ayushi Jaiswal, Riya Agarwal, Nimesh Bansal, and Sneha Shenoy. Kruti Patel, Shreya, Ashwarya Singh, Sugandha Bhatia, Mansi Bhardwaj, Charu, Anusri Dalal, Kumarika Bhaval, Nishi Shuman, Sakshi Sarda, Srija Bhattacharji, Sakambari Mukta, Aditi Mehta, Abhas Sen, Pragati Mahapatra, Guru Kiran Kaur, Ravisa Sarupriya, Garima Gupta, अंकिता अदावडे, शेफाली गहराना, विश्वजीत सिंह, दीपिका प्रकाश, तान्या पटेरिया, प्रज्ञा जैन, कृतिका गुप्ता, संस्कृति मंध्यान, दिग्जया धवन, प्राची ओझा, रेवती चौहान, इशिता शर्मा, रितिका खुराना, अमन गोयल, कृति अग्रवाल, रिदिमा महाजन, श्रीतमा सान्याल and Aparna Vinayan. सौम्या कुमार, प्रियंका बांथिया, वंशिका भागेरिया, काजल गंगवार, अर्तुरिका चटर्जी, अद्वैती पाठी, भविष्य शाह, स्तुति भीमसरिया, अमृता परासर, यशस्वी उपाध्याय, आकांक्षा मोहंती, पूजा बालूजा, आकांक्षा भट्ट, आशुतोष अग्रवाल, सलोनी अग्रवाल, अनुष्का शर्मा, आनंदिता एन and सरलिता नायर. प्रेरणा लाल, मैत्री खचरा, आसना शाह, आद्या सिंघल, नुपुर नागपाल, श्रुति सिंह, आशिमा चावला, निहारिका बोथरा, टीना, ऋतुपर्णा रॉय, श्रुतिका चौधरी, वंशिका जैन, मुस्कान सक्सेना, वुनमोना भट्टाचार्य जी, अमित घोष, अंकिता, नेहल तनेजा, गुलनसीन सैयद, अक्षता के, आनंदिता मुंजल, श्रीदात्री चंद्रा, मृणाल गुल्हाने, स्नेहा मुरली, बृंदा दमानी, देवेसी जैसलमेरिया, अर्चना वल्लीमादक्कल, समृद्ध भट्टाचार्य, तान्या बोदानी, जानवी विभा, राशि अलावादी, अनु भाडू, प्रेरणा कुमार, ऐश्वर्या जोते, प्रियल अमीन, दृष्टि नया गांधी, आकाश मल्होत्रा, आकांक्षा जैन, यश कनोडिया, सिमरप्रीत कौर, सुभाषित सेन, सान्या गोयल, अनोश मेहता, दिशा मिश्रा, मेघा डे, प्रगति शर्मा, बेवर्ली मेंजेस, दयाली दास, निकिता, शुभम अरोरा, अनिकेत मोदक, राधिका अग्रवाल, यश दानी, अभिषेक करमबेलकर, आर्यका निधि, गर्वित बजाज, ईशा केडिया, अरित्रा चक्रवर्ती, नमन कपूर, रोहित रॉय, तुइसा भट्ट, बेतानपुर कायस्था, सूरज नायर, बारो अभिज्ञा, तलत शादाब शेख, तेजसा एस, अमन पंजियार, तन्वी पंडिता, महक कर्णावत, अनुष्का कोठारी, ध्रुवा मालेकर, मृणाल देशमुख, जानवी पारिक, अर्नब मुखर्जी, रूपल भारतीय, केवी श्रीराम, राज गोयल, गीतिका आहूजा, हर्ष पटेल, ईसा सलीम, संकल्प दुआ, सागर भतीजा, आकाश चौहान, अमन गुप्ता, केयूर रावल, प्रतीक शाह, लवनीश आनंद, अरविंद टी, प्रणव दर, आकांक्षा सिंह, सुयस सराफ, रोहित देशपांडे, वंदन मेहा, अविनाश जयसिंह, अनुरूप अग्रवाल, सिद्धांत दास, कर्मा गांधी, द्विज झुंझुनवाला, आदिल आलम, अखिल नायर, प्रद्युमन चौहान, नीरव सोनी, अमर्त्य चक्रवर्ती, डेला देसाई, अविनाश कुमार, पार्थ जायसवाल, श्याम आरएस, अंगद सचदेव, नीलेश शर्मा, वासु जीवानी, स्पंदन भौमिक, श्रेय आनंद, तुषार चावला, दक्ष गुलाती, चिंतन मेहता, जय श्रीवास्तव, सुजीत हांगे, सिंचिता देव, शशांक, प्रेरक गांधी, आनंद अभिषेक, Shubham Verma, Vans Narang, Ishan Joshi, Ashish Garg, Pranav Sinha, Avinash Bansal, Jerex Bharda, Ayush Dubey, Rafid Ajim, Aditya Pethe, Jatin Thukral, Nishant Nayak, Akshat Sanadia, Shivam Grover, Ritik Jain, Aditya Kaushik, Sandeep Menon, Madhav Joshi, Vraj Ghora, Shubham Mahapatra, Advait Nautiyal, Now, I am going to announce the name of CCC students. Latika Sharma, Sandra Tony, Spars Bansal, Nikhat Hassan, Tushti Chaturvedi, Vidisha Todkar, निधि गोपाल, साक्षी अग्रवाल, स्निग्धा सुगल्ला, पूजा मलिक, सिमरन जुवारकर, साई स्मृति गोविंद राजन, निशा जोशी, मेघा अग्रवाल, तनिष्का पांडे, निहारिका त्रेहन, अपूर्वा प्रधान, Taniska Nijsure, Riya Jana, Srishti Sundaram, Siali Sirode, Ishan Arora, Dishant Shah, Nishtha Saxena, Pranjal Chaudhary, Vishwas Rakheja, Vrinda Jotwani, Saurabh Joshi, Ninad Mule, Abudya Garg, Partha Dovara, may I request that the MICA diploma and certificate register be placed before Dr. Shailendra Raj Mehta, President, and the Director, MICA, for his official approval. May I request all the students and the audience to take their seat quickly, please.
So now we come to the most poignant part of the program today, because one who walked here 19 years ago, not very differently from how you've done it, is now back at the other end as our convocation speaker. He is, in fact, the very first MICAN to come back in that capacity in the 27 convocations that we've had up to this point. So it's indeed a stellar moment for MICA and the completion of a circle. The chief guest for MICA's 25th, 26th, and 27th convocation is none other than Mr. Varun Dua, one of our alums, the founder of ACO Insurance, and a graduate of the class of 2003. A big hand, ladies and gentlemen, for Varun. Varun Dua is the founder and CEO of ACO. ACO is a financial services technology platform that launched India's first digital insurance company, competing against the likes of ICICI, HDFC, Tata, and Bajaj. It was the first startup to receive a license from the Government of India to run an insurance company. Previously, he co-founded CoverFox Insurance, and ACO is his second venture. As I indicated earlier, he's a 2003 alum who was recognized as India's 40 under 40 in 2019, and among the top 50 influencers, get this, in insurance industry globally. A big hand for Varun. Before becoming an entrepreneur, he had worked in the financial services sector with stints in the insurance arm of the Tata Group and Franklin Templeton Asset Management. ACO operates in the car, health, travel, and gadget insurance spaces and has 800 employees. The leadership of ACO comes from organizations like Google, Amazon, BCG, Coca-Cola, and ICICI. It is working on the vision and the cause of making insurance and protection fair, cost-effective, and straightforward for millions of Indians. ACO has received over $500 million in capital from Indian and foreign investors such as General Atlantic, Canada Pension Fund, Amazon, the family office of Mr. Narayan Murthy, Excel Ventures, and Lightspeed Capital. May I request Mr. Dua to kindly deliver the convocation address. The floor, sir, is yours.
Am I audible? Okay, I'm terribly nervous. And when I get nervous, I tend to go too fast. So just do this if I'm just rambling. So good evening, MICA. Members of the governing body, the faculty, all the proud and lovely parents, and all the rock stars of the batches of 20, 20, and 21. Thank you for having me here, and thank you for the honor. I'll try and introduce myself first. I'm Varun Dua, and my pronouns are A, Oe, and Abe. At least that's how I was addressed in this place. I'm 41 years old. It would have been great to have been invited to something like this 4 to 5 years ago, but I was too busy failing. A little more about me. I started an insurance company called ACO, which today has millions of customers, worth a couple of thousand crores, and has some of the most marquee investors in the world as shareholders. This makes me rich and successful in conventional terms. That's my claim to fame. Probably the key reason I'm here. It also helped that I was a nocturnal resident of this campus, Chandni 22 to be specific. And there, that's a fit, one amongst us with worldly success. This apparently qualifies me to stand here and sermonize a 20-minute monologue of inspiration. I really don't feel accomplished enough to do this. Feels like yesterday, I was roaming in Shella, having skipped a bath, gorging on cheese Maggie with batchmates, pillion riding with batchmates, looking for alcohol, hoping to get lucky in a dry state. Anyway, today for me is a strange feeling. I really did not know what advice to dispense. I wasn't a go-getter who can tell you you should aim higher. I was middle of the stack, 40th or so, in a batch of 80. I didn't pay too much attention in class. I was an introvert, happy with my friends, trying to date the pretty women, downloading pirated music, playing it on Winamp, and the highlight of my day was, have you checked out this new cool Winamp skin? Basically chilling, drinking, smoking, sailing through life. Definitely wasn't what you'd call type A. So all the folks here with average CGPAs, don't worry. As they say, grade A students work for the grade B students. The grade C kids run the businesses. And the guys who didn't go to college run the world. So all the non-grade A students, in all probability, you'll do very, very well. And all the grade A folks, please stop being Sharma ji ke bacche and making us feel inadequate. Okay, back to me. I wasn't born with a silver spoon. My parents were government employees. Saving up to buy a big enough house was success for them. Setting up startups for the last decade or so has been some sort of a fiefdom of the IITs, IIMs, and some Ivy League returns. I'm not an engineer. I've never written a program in my life. Pre or post MICA, there was nothing in my resume, my repertoire, or my background that should lead me to the path of starting out a tech business, which should raise capital and become large. So I really started to doubt myself when I was invited to make the commencement speech. I have nothing to say. Did I just get plain lucky? My fear was, who am I to tell these young and bright folks anything when I myself did not have a plan in life? Really? I don't have any playbook or wisdom on how to make it. In fact, I was so petrified, I sat with a blank sheet of paper for days. Part of me wanted to call Mr. Mehta and wriggle out of it. कि सुनो ना सर, 6 महीने में valuation और बढ़ जाएगी, तो अगले साल आऊँगा पक्का. But now that I've been invited here and given this privilege, I probably need to comment on the world or say something inspirational. I feel under tremendous pressure to come up with something helpful and interesting on your big day. And then, after twiddling my thumbs for a few days, it dawned on me, I don't have to talk about the immense opportunity in front of you. How we are at this tectonic shift with technology and how you can win in this vast ocean of opportunities. I thought about it. I'd actually like to talk to you about what I struggled with. I can talk about why so many of my batchmates and friends who did so well in life still feel a very, very big void. What we all struggled with as we got older. It's snapped, is it? Am I audible? Okay, great. Concepts and skills that were tough to work with. This I know for sure now, because these struggles are universal. So even if 10% of what I say stays with you before you hit your 30s and 40s, hopefully Mr. Mehta would not regret his choice. So the next 10-15 minutes is not about how to make it. What really is making it anyway? Maybe you're just happy with a spouse, with a great spouse and well-adjusted kids, who knows? Who defines success? Is it measured monetarily or by some unit of power and fame? So let's junk all this making it business. I'll talk about the things I struggled to understand. 5 things I had to learn the hard way over the last 20 years. I promise you I learned more than 5 things, because just 5 things over 2 decades would be weird and embarrassingly slow. But the more I thought about it, I felt I could distill 80% of my learnings in these 5 things. It's nothing you may not have heard before, but it's my vantage point on these aspects of life. The first 2 things I will attempt to elaborate on are true for life for all of us. And while these 2 things are simple words in the English language, deeply and consciously understanding their meaning, I believe, can truly alter the course of life. And the first one is choice. Life will give you choices whether you like it or not. And you always have a choice, even when you think you don't. And there is never the best choice. How conscious you are about your choices and how well you accept the consequences of your choices is all that matters. Some of my life choices I made consciously, some after rum and coke. In fact, if I really decode, there are just 3 types of choices. 1, you're inherently wired to take a certain path. So you being uniquely you will naturally gravitate towards a certain pattern. This is what we call natural dispensation. Second, hard choices you consciously make. They make you uncomfortable temporarily or for a long, long time. And the third, of course, is sitting on the fence. So let me give you a choice. Option 1, dream company, 1 crore salary starting next month. Option 2, you will build something you love successfully. You will be rich and famous. But 50% chance that any of this happens, and only 10 years from now. What would you pick? I'll take a pause while you think about it. Maybe grab some water to calm my nerves and just really put some pressure back onto you guys. So, did you think about it? For me, I was inherently wired to take option 2. I like playing the odds. While I like playing the odds, and option 2 came naturally to me, I would be lying that the dream job wouldn't make me second guess my natural dispensation. So when the time comes, each one of us is really a mix of everything. Relatively easy choices, hard choices, and indecision. So if the dream job was your natural choice, don't judge yourself. Simply understand that if you still have an itch, it will need you to rewire your brain, and it will be a hard choice. A choice where you will compare yourself to your peers, their travel adventures, their cars, their lovely homes, and timely kids, while you may be struggling to make ends meet. But if you make this conscious choice, knowing that it's hard, you stand a much better chance of seeing it through. On the other hand, I want to do it, but I'm waiting for the right co-founder, my next bonus, or some random milestone. Then I'm making that call based on a narrative of external circumstances. Then maybe that it just isn't strong enough. And really, that's also okay. But indecision as a state of being is terrible. It's like being on the sidelines of both option 1 and option 2. It's like a gun to your head situation, and you choose indecision. What it really means is, I prefer to get shot. So don't get shot. Don't be in the middle. I can tell you, it's the single most unhappy place to be. And this vector of choice, it plays everywhere. Not just in a job versus following your passion question. You have choices and you have free will. Free will to have a meaningful life or wither it away, to be single or to be hitched, to have a fulfilling marriage or be unfaithful, to be kind to your partner and parents or to be curt and rude, to be in touch with your friends or lose them along the way. I'm not passing a moral judgment on any of these things, let me be clear. Not a moral judgment at all. The point I'm making is, understand that it's you who is making these choices every day. And if you're conscious about them, you will hopefully make better choices. Choices which make you you, not choices that are an output of the collective #wisdom of the times that we live in. Choices you have the intent and the strength to endure. So make conscious choices, choices that sit well with you. The second and the most important thing I want to talk about is purpose. I learned this by accident. I did not know how deeply this affects life and gives you a stable and consistent framework. It's like your GPS, your radar in life. What is your purpose? It's a very tough question to answer. And usually, I get wishy-washy answers. to be successful, to be an entrepreneur, to be happy, to move to London, to do some social good. All of this is a desired state of being. This is the imagery of what will satiate us. A mirage we all chase. I promise you, you will get bored of your job. You might even get bored of your spouse, your Insta-worthy meals, even your latest Apple Watch, which folds out to become a laptop, that folds out to become a Tesla, and then folds out into Hyperloop to take you to Ibiza. You will get bored of all of it. Trust me, you will. You might even find your kids irritating, and even they leave one day. As you're all leaving now, and maybe in a good year, you'll see your parents twice a year. One thing, if you notice, in common about all the things that I just mentioned, is that they are all external. These are things you want to happen to you. Purpose is different. Purpose is internal. Purpose is what you want to do. Purpose is something you'd be happy doing for free. Purpose is when you fall in love with something. Purpose is getting obsessed with solving a problem. Purpose is continuing to do something regardless of what else is happening in your life. For me, I worked in financial services in the early part of my career, specifically in insurance. I saw some deep mistrust, some inefficiency, and a lack of empathy for customers, and no one willing to change the status quo. With a simple competitive spirit to do well, I started to first work on the inefficiency that, hey, I can do this better. Somehow, I got deeply attached to the problem. It kind of turned into ego. I was going to solve this, and solve this at scale. I wanted to rewrite the rules of the game. Strangely, as ambitious as this may sound, this actually keeps me sane. It keeps me happy. It's the one constant in my life. As life happens, it's the one thing that no one can take away from me. Your purpose doesn't have to be a startup or a business. Whatever it is, it's a place where you dream, where you love, and are in a constant dialogue with yourself, your thoughts, your ideas, and your will to improve. This dialogue with yourself is 1,000,000 times more important than all the banter you want to like, comment, or share. People who find their purpose, more often than not, will find success. So really, climb the mountains, start a business, figure out e-waste, be an influencer, help the farmers, or aim to be Sundar Pichai. Whatever floats your boat, but try and find your purpose. Now that the grade A students have made notes on making good choices and finding purpose, let me move on to the skills I learned to value the most. And yes, grade A students, I'm going to keep taking a dig at you because I'm really scarred. The first skill is delayed gratification. Have you heard of the marshmallow test? A set of kids were given one marshmallow and told, I'll come back in 15 minutes. If you haven't eaten it, you can have 2. These kids were tracked over multiple decades. And of course, it was proven that the kids that could wait did much better in all aspects of life: health, career, relationships. As with every study, there were biases, nuances, and more factors. But it doesn't take away one thing. This is slightly heavy, so bear with me. Delayed gratification is some processing structure that helps us, 1, evaluate benefits, 2, predict outcomes, and 3, override our impulses. The impulse to appear a certain way, choosing 20%, 30% higher salary over something that gives you learning and far greater opportunity, denying yourself financial freedom for a big car on EMIs. We live in a world where businesses are built on instantly gratifying you. So it'll be terribly hard, but it's a skill that you can hone and develop. I was debt-free till 37. I did not have any loans till I was 37. It gave me immense freedom to pursue my purpose. Honestly, was I thoughtful? No. I was just scared of being tied down with obligations. So why is the skill of delayed gratification so crucial? Just one simple reason. It gives you immense power and control over your life. Else, we are all just simply strung along like puppets by our impulses. It's like the tail wagging the dog, and really you don't want to be there. The next most critical skill is communication. At MICA, we are a communication school. We should naturally be good at it. Frankly, most of us are not. I've had the opportunity and privilege of meeting geniuses and some really smart people. Young founders, technology whiz kids, really passionate about what they're doing. But they struggle to communicate their thoughts and ideas lucidly. They're drowning in good ideas. When I first realized I had to raise capital to fund my dream, I needed to do a pitch deck and narrate my story. Version 1 was horrendous, but I thought I had done a fab job. I wanted to be doubly sure, so I went back, did some research, took some feedback, looked at Guy Kawasaki blogs, decks of the likes of Airbnb, and I realized I was Jon Snow. My ability to communicate the problem that I was trying to solve. Why was it an important problem to solve? Why am I the one to solve it? Why should you attach your millions of dollars to my purpose? Let's just say my ability was extremely poor. It was rambling, littered with all my cool insights. Now, when I look at it, I myself wouldn't have invested $100 on that story. My postgrad degree and my years of work experience never had me in a situation where my life depended on how I narrate my story. I really wanted to start learning how to communicate. And this is what I learned. How to co-opt people into your vision is communication. I practiced, I read, I did my pitch 1,000,000 times in my head, thinking through each question that may come up. How do I not be defensive about something? How do I land my response in a way that it's a clincher and I don't get trapped in a rambling debate? How do I be honest when I don't know things? Because there will be things I don't know. I got obsessed with convincing anybody and everybody, whoever was needed, to further my purpose. Investors, early employees who needed to believe in me to join me, or the landlord to give me a cheap office. So learn to communicate. Learn to paint a picture with your words. I don't mean public speaking. You figured it out that I'm terrible by now. Just simply get good at convincing folks to bet on you. The fifth and the last thing I want to talk about is a harsh reality. That the world owes you nothing. It's an unfair place. Things are not stacked usually in your favor. The rich have more opportunities, more weight, more power. Do you disagree with the way this world works? Do you have strong views? Do you have strong views on capitalism, the income divide, the politics, the unfairness, and the not so competent holding on to top jobs? Cry me a river. Your opinions don't matter. At least not yet. The world we live in is a collection of ideas and events way larger than you. You are not the center of the universe. This evil, unfair world is not letting you win or doesn't understand you. Sorry, it has no onus, no responsibility, and no time to understand you or your fragilities. You are one in 7 billion people. Usually, there are two ways people deal with this reality: Twitter rants and an alcohol-induced conversation ending in a Goa plan. And then you forget about it. Or you keep at it, build credibility, take some risks, and prove a point. Human beings rant, we crib. We have an opinion on fairness. We hold on to pseudo-intellectual narratives and positions that make us look good, or we simply use it as an excuse. This comes in the way of purpose like nothing else. An inability to organize ourselves and work on our own weaknesses, but having armchair opinions on how the world should be organized. Life will be unfair to the best of us. It took me 20 years, 2 failed businesses, countless rejections, and a life-altering medical diagnosis of somebody I truly, truly love to even grasp and implement about 30% of what I just said. So as I finish this unsolicited one-way therapy session, I'll tell you that I could have saved all of us this 20-minute ordeal. And all I'm really trying to say is, purpose makes you want to get up in the morning. Choices let you sleep at night. If you want to impose your will, make people see the world through your lens. And don't trade what you want most for what you want now. Finally, I don't wish you luck in this new innings of life, because frankly, my wishes have no bearing on your fortune. Your life will be eventful anyway. Highs, lows, joy, sorrow, success, failure, finding love, losing love. What I really wish for you is thoughtfulness, tenacity, and top-notch tequila. Thank you. Thank you.
What a speech, straight from the heart, from his heart to our hearts. I was making notes like a good student, I was making notes as you were speaking. And I want to just take 2 minutes to share with you what resonated with me in your speech. The line that you used towards the end was priceless. I think we should quote it again and again. Don't trade what you want most for what you want now. Right? Don't trade what you want most for what you want now. Amazing. I loved also the point that you made about dialoguing with yourself and taking a different path. We, of course, all know what Robert Frost said about 2 roads diverged in the woods. I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. You took the road less traveled by. But I'd like to close my reflection on your speech by quoting another master, Allama Iqbal in this case, who also expresses this idea with his own metaphor, that of the mountain eagle, called Shaheen in Persian. It's the same name as Shein in the Rig Veda. Shein is the messenger of the gods, right? Shein, the mountain eagle, brings the soma from the gods down to the humans. And how does he do it? Allama Iqbal puts it somewhat like this. He says, Nahi tera nasheman kasre sultani ke gumbad par. Kasre sultani is the easy part. Kasre sultani is the sultan's palace, and gumbad is the dome. The easy way is for the mountain eagle to nest on the dome of the sultan. But he said, that's not what you're meant to do. Tu Shaheen hai, basera tera hai, pahadon ki chattano par. He's meant to be he's meant to soar to the mountain heights and dwell in the mountains. So that is the message that I took from you. Mr. A.G. Krishnamurthy, who founded MICA in 1991, was a visionary and a legend in advertising who was way ahead of his times. He set up MICA as his way of giving back to industry what all he had achieved due to it. Mr. Krishnamurthy, or AGK, as he was fondly called, passed away on the 5th of February 2016, coincidentally on what was MICA's foundation day. It was almost like he willed himself to end his journey here on a very significant date. As a mark of our respect and gratitude to Mr. A.G. Krishnamurthy, we are awarding the top 3 positions in academic performance from the 25th batch of PGDM-C, the first batch of PGDM-PGP, and the 29th batch of CCC, the 26th batch of PGDM-C and the second batch of PGDM, the 30th batch of CCC, and the 27th batch of PGDM-C, the third batch of PGDM, and the 31st batch of CCC, with awards and medals in A.G. Krishnamurthy's name, which Professor Rajneesh Krishna will now announce.
May I request the chief guest, Mr. Varun Dua, to kindly present the bronze, silver, and gold medal to top 3 students of the postgraduate diploma in management, batch-wise. The A.G. Krishnamurthy bronze medal goes to Aishwarya Kharbanda. And the silver medal is awarded to Nidhu Agarwal. And the gold medal is awarded in absentia to Ms. Pallavi Padhi. Oh, she is here. The A.G. Krishnamurthy bronze, silver, and gold medal and merit certificates for 26th batch of PGP has been awarded to. Bronze medal goes to Divya Madan in absentia until he has been also able to make it. Okay. And silver medal goes to Ashi Jan. And the gold medal goes to Pranita B. Now I will announce the names for 27th batch of PGP. And bronze medal goes to Shubham Arora. Thanks, Subham, for being the only man to come and receive this award, because the next is silver medal is Vunmona Bhattacharjee. And the gold medal goes to who else other than Dela Desai. Now I will announce the names for A.G. Krishnamurthy Award for Academic Excellence for Crafting Creative Communications, 29th batch. The bronze medal goes to Megha Pandya. And silver goes to Mansha Arora. And the gold goes to Ansani Viral Pothiwala. Now I will announce the names for 30th batch, where the bronze goes to Sweta Bharti. And silver goes to Nidhi Netravalkar. And gold goes to Anushka Kapoor. Next, I am going to announce the names for 31st batch of CCC. And the bronze goes to Sai Smriti Govindarajan. And silver goes to Niharika Tehran. And the gold goes to Sai Snigdha Sugalla.
You stay there. So thank you very much. And Varun, you have to stay there because there are 3 more awards coming up. But before they do, I want to point out something very, very interesting for everybody assembled here, something that you may have noticed that to me is a milestone, another milestone that MICA has reached. Aldous Huxley famously wrote The Brave New World. Ladies and gentlemen, the Brave New World is here. I don't know if you noticed, we gave away 17 awards, 16 were won by women. 3 more are coming up, all women. So that is 20 awards, 19 won by women. I think this must be some sort of a world record for a management school. And I think MICA is leading the way. So with the greatest of pleasure, let me announce the 3 other awards that are coming up, which is the Pat Memorial Outstanding Alumnus Award, which has been constituted in memory of Professor Atul Tandon, or Pat as he was lovingly called, who served as MICA's director from March 2001 to June 2009. Even though he was not the founding director of MICA, in many ways he made MICA what it is today. It was Pat who put the infrastructure development at MICA at a fast pace to cope with the growing academic demands. This award is of, by, and for alumni. So it's the Alumni Association which chooses the awards for each batch. And for 2020, it's conferred on Priyanka Khaneja Gandhi. And before we call her on stage, I want to just take 1 minute to talk about her stellar resume. She is the Associate Director of Integrated Marketing Communication for e-commerce marketing for Colgate-Palmolive, India. She has had 20 years of experience in functional leadership roles across India's marquee CPG company Colgate-Palmolive. Over her tenure at Colgate, Priyanka has led several global first initiatives in the Colgate world, including launching the first ever Colgate Master Brand campaign, launch of its first of a kind tele-dentistry platform at Colgate, conceptualizing and launching the loyalty and CRM program, and building a digital-first demand generation model for premium brands, to name a few. She exemplifies the kind of career path that lies ahead for MICAns. Beyond her work, Priyanka loves to spend time with her 2 daughters, enjoys traveling and exploring world cuisines, and has a passion for running and is an active marathoner. So, Priyanka, we want you here. Welcome. A big hand for Priyanka. Sorry? Yes, of course. A big hand, ladies and gentlemen, for Priyanka Khaneja Gandhi. The award for 2021 is being conferred on Sayantani Gupta, a MICA graduate of the batch Y2K, where she started her career in advertising, or when she started her career in advertising. After having learned the ropes of creative, effective communication in places like Ogilvy and Mather, the urge to be directly involved in the core business took over. She joined the then nascent telecom sector in 2004 in Orange and saw its transition to Hutch and Vodafone. In her 13 years with Vodafone, she traversed many roles spanning product, revenue management, business development, sales, strategy, general management, and in the process led multiple strategic initiatives. Today, as marketing head for Tata Play, earlier called Tata Sky, she leads the top-line growth for the organization and is closely involved in shaping Tata Play's foray in the OTT space. A big hand, ladies and gentlemen, for Sayantani Gupta. Welcome. A big hand, once again, ladies and gentlemen, for Sayantani Gupta. The award for 2022 is being conferred on Priya Nijara in absentia. Priya is an alumnus from the 2002 batch and is currently the country head for Disney Consumer Products in India, the merchandise business for Disney, and the brand lead for Disney Pixar brands across APAC. Over 20 years, Priya has held multiple roles across organizations and industries, beginning her career in advertising with Leo Burnett India, subsequently pursuing further studies in global media and communications at LSE and USC in LA, a joint program between the 2 schools, following which she joined Disney. And this is what I love. Priya has an avid interest in Urdu, and in her free time, she runs a blog to promote the language and culture of Urdu, where she is a career mentor and vocal about education for girls and empowering women leaders in business. So in absentia, we confer this award to her or upon her and wish her all the very best. With that, Varun and our chairman, if you could come back to your seats.
May I now request members of MICA Council for Student Affairs of the 27th batch to speak on life at MICA on behalf of all the graduating students.
Big hand, ladies and gentlemen.
Honorable Chief Guest, members of MICA Governing Council, respected President, Dean, Registrar, dearest faculties, staff, loving family members, and my fellow students of MICA. A very good evening. For the past 2 years, our lives have been drastically disrupted by the ongoing pandemic. Each and every one of us present here is affected by it in different ways, some more than others. We have lost people from our precious MICAN community. Many of us lost our near and dear ones. These people will forever be etched in our success and in our journey moving forward. In spite of all these unpredictable challenges, all of us are gathered here today, stronger and taller, to celebrate this monumental, historic festival of MICA's 25th, 26th, and 27th Convocation ceremony. We started our journey in uncharted territories, living one day at a time, only to be bombarded with even more challenges. I'm sure all of us have woken up with feeling that this doesn't feel right. What we didn't realize is that in our lives, every day was an innovation. Every day, we would have things that no one has ever documented or experienced in past. We were reforming, rewriting our own experiences, our own expectations. We learned to find our happiness in unconventional methods. What didn't change, though, was our hunger. Our hunger to be better, our drive to pull up the chair and create what we thought we were missing. And as a result of that, MICA has had one of the most successful and efficient onboarding on campus, and a huge credit for that has to be imparted to the Estate Department and primarily Chandwani sir, and our ground staff, of course. And just like that, one fine day, our batch finally experienced what it means to be in these red walls. We realized the weight of responsibilities that we carry as MICANs. We saw how every graffiti on these walls tells a story and the legacy that we are all a part of. Our challenges were far from over, but by now we knew. We knew what it would take to chart the remainder of our journey. I would like to mention how incredibly dependent we were on MICA's IT infrastructure that let all of this possible. A huge thanks to the IT team at MICA for being the foundation on which we built our MICAN experience. My dear people, 25 years of my life, 2 years of being a member of MICA Student Council, I want to tell you at this very moment, my life is achieving its peak. And I could not have asked for a better community to share this with. I would like to end my part with a few extracts from a poem, If, by Rudyard Kipling, which he wrote for his son. It goes like this. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. With this was Anurup Agarwal, MICA class of 22. I'll now hand over to my teammate Shreya. Thank you.
Thank you, Anurup. There can be no better when you've seen the best, and speaking after you feels that way right now. Following your footsteps, I would like to start my speech with a few lines. I spent sleepless nights, your thoughts keep calling me. I spent sleepless nights, your thoughts keep calling me. और अगर माइकन भाषा में कहा जाए तो रातानु जागू मैं तो दिन राती तेरी बोल बुलावे. And this is what a MICAN feels when the deadline of an assignment is approaching with the hope of a final one last extension. MICA, the Mecca of marketing, is known for its unique curriculum, which includes courses such as Cultural Context of Communication, also known as CCC, Semiotics, Filmmaking, Consumer Behavior, and many more. This year, we have also introduced a minor in Business Management, which has made MICA an institute where management truly meets creativity. After being hit by a pandemic such as COVID, we adapted to the hybrid model of learning, which included 30 minutes of pre-recorded material and 45 minutes of live class discussions. A model which provided students the opportunity to learn at their own pace, a model efficient enough to be utilized even if everything goes back to normal. I would like to thank the PGP chairs, CCC chairs, FPM chair, all the faculties, the program office which scheduled and managed hundreds of Zoom links for us, and the exams office for everything they have done for us in these 2 years. We always address how big of a challenge it was for us students to shift to online learning. I would like to highlight that shifting to online teaching would not have been easy as well. So thank you so much for everything. Moving on to something every MICAN holds really close to their heart. पढ़ाई तो माइका की खासियत है, लेकिन मशहूर तो हमारी कमिटीज़ भी कम नहीं है. In MICA, extracurriculars are as important as academics. The institute ensures ample opportunities for each student to explore new things. You name it, we have a committee for it. Event management, music, dance, theatre, CSR, entrepreneurship, and so much more. I wish I could name all the 21 committees of MICA because all of them in their own way organized events in their best capacity with huge constraints such as COVID. A committee in MICA is not just a committee. It is a place where you belong, an entity carrying the countless efforts and memories of all the past batches of MICA. These memories, emotions are passed down as hand-me-downs, which could be any object of significance given by the senior committee to the junior committee. It could be a football, a water gun, a mug, or anything that has been passed down from generations. This beautiful ritual makes sure that while you might leave MICA someday, a part of you will always exist in this campus, a part of your soul which you can always come back to. I would like to thank each and every committee, interest group, volunteers, free commerce who were brilliant audiences because all the core memories we have are because of the events you all organized. Thank you to the student-driven committees of MICA for giving us opportunities to make our Instagram active once in a while. For every MICAN, convocation is not just the end of their MBA, it's the end of an era. It is never easy to say goodbye. I feel I'm leaving my home, and as MCSA, I'm leaving my kids behind. As my parting words, I want to say a few lines dedicated to MICA and to MICANs. My love, how can you know what happens when we part? My love, how can you know what happens when we part? I hope you fall in love. I hope it breaks your heart. और अगर माइकन भाषा में कहा जाए तो मेरे ढोल जुदाइयाँ दी तेनू खबर कि वे होवे आ जावे दिल तेरा पूरा भी ना होवे अगलावा मजबूरी नू आन जान दी पसूरी नू. Thank you so much. That's my time.
Folks, I'd request all of you who are moving about to please not do so. Just find your seat and stay there, please. Please settle down fully. Thank you. Please.
Right. Thank you, Shreya. I promise you there'll be no singing in my part. Now, as the three of us conclude our speech tonight, we would be amiss if we didn't thank the most significant stakeholder in our journey here. It's you, the students. In that, we've got the additional honor of standing here and representing not only the batch that elected us, but also the batches before us whose cultural DNA we share and cherish. So with that, here's to the oh-so-patient PGB 25, CCC 29, and FEM. I know it's been a long, long wait, but we are privileged to share this moment with you. In PGB 26 and CCC 30, we have two batches today who shaped our time here. One is the batch who taught us the ropes of being a MICAN, set standards to meet, and welcomed us through these gates, albeit virtually. The other is the one we shared our orientation with, spent time with as friends, as they left an indelible mark on this institute and us. So on behalf of your junior and sister batches, I extend the warmest welcome to you on a much-awaited return. And finally, the class of 2022, the COVID batch. The batch who experienced placement, classes, seminars, workshops, online, offline, and even hybrid for a bit. It is with immense pride that we address you today, because here are a bunch of people who not only survived but thrived in those unprecedented times. Here is a batch whose course load was shared by their friends and family. Here is a batch for whom bedrooms were turned into study halls and the family be put on mute because a class was in session. With that, parents, relatives, friends who are present here or watching us at home, thank you. Thank you for your efforts. Thank you for your sacrifice, because we certainly couldn't have been able to do it without you. As a batch, the one regret that we do have is that we never really got to experience the MICAN life like 25 and 26 did in the good old days. Well, I'm sure most of us will give our right arms to get a chance at that. The last 2 years have shaped us to be these individuals that you see in front of you as well. You see, it's a funny thing, the good old days. It kind of convinces you that your life peaked. The best that a place, an institute, an individual had to offer was in the past, and as a consequence, it takes away the joy of the present. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'll share how we as a batch refute this. We created our own moments, adapted where we needed to, improvise where all else failed. The result is that we not only have a deep affinity for Zoom, we also have created some new traditions that transcend geographical barriers. Now tell me, how many batches can claim to have done something like that? We learned that while past is our legacy, our foundation, the future is built by what we do in the now. The good old days were many things, but maybe, just maybe, the present that we had here was slightly better. For a batch that proved its mettle in changing and challenging circumstances, we learned that we shall prevail as long as actions are driven by what if and not by what was. Merge it with creativity, knowledge, and ambitious intent, and you'll have an individual, or as in our case, 249 individuals ready to go out and create history rather than wait around to relive it. So while we didn't get the chance to live like a MICAN, we experienced this institute and all that it teaches in a way that no batch ever will. And we hope that no batch ever has to. This is our reality. This is our truth. And this is also our legacy. With that, on behalf of the MCSA of 2019-2020, Jeevant, Prithvi, and Divangana, MCSA 2020-21, Komal, Medha, and Matthew. This is MCSA 2021-22, Rafid, Anuroop, and Shreya signing off. Thank you.
A picture speaks 1,000 words, they say. But for a teacher and an education institution, a word of appreciation by a student is 1,000 joy. Thank you, members of MCSA, for these touching words. And I can assure you, it is, as I say, no adieu, mais au revoir, not goodbye, but see you again. And now, may I request Dr. Sailendra Raj Behta, President and Director of MICA, to give his appreciation. Dr. Behta.
Thank you. Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Varun Dua, Honorable Chairman and members of the MICA Governing Council, members of the MICA faculty and staff, invited guests, parents, and most of all, my dear students. It gives me immense pleasure in addressing you here today. I had prepared a fairly long speech. I'll give the short version. But first, let me share a few things that came to me while I was reflecting on this convocation today. It was 2 years ago that the lockdown suddenly came upon us, the COVID lockdown, and we had to improvise. Everybody had to improvise, the students, the staff, and most of all, the faculty. Because if you think about it, in April of 2020, all of us, my faculty colleagues are right here, we were scratching our heads and saying, ab karenge kaise? But then we let that moment grip us and we got to work. And we worked non-stop for 2 months. This is now May and June of 2020, to completely repurpose our program for the digital age. And we came up with a model that we are continuing to use now, even though we are moving into the on-ground mode, which is what we called our 30-45-36-6 model. Earlier, we used to have a 75-60 model, that is a 75-minute class for 60 students. Now, we have 30 minutes of pre-recorded classes that are sent to all students ahead of time, a 45-minute problem-solving discussion class for 36 students, often broken into groups of 6. And this model is a true innovation at MICA that we are now documenting and making available to everyone all over the world. This is a major innovation. A big hand, ladies and gentlemen, for my faculty colleagues right here, and for all of you for staying with us and allowing us to innovate fundamentally. But COVID was hard. We lost several people, near and dear ones. All of us have tragedies that we can talk about. But I will talk only about 5 people today that we lost who were part of the MICA family. We lost Professor Jay Trivedi and Mokshta Jhala. We lost Neelima from PGP 25. Her brother is here to take her diploma for her. We lost 2 of our alumni, Shivaji Chatterjee and Harshvardhan Sarda. And we also lost one of the founders of MICA, a founding member of the MICA Governing Council, Mr. Jerson Dakuna. We mourn all of them, and let us hold a moment of silence in their memory and in their honor. Thank you. In the 5th Parva, the 44th chapter of the Mahabharata, that's on education, it very clearly lays out the fundamentals, the 4 fundamentals of education. It says, and I quote, 1/4 comes from the teacher, 1/4 from the student, 1/4 from the fellow students, and 1/4 through time. Acharyat padam adatte, padam shishyam shishyaha swamedaya, sa brahmacharibhyah padam, padam kal kramena cha. No better description of education has been given, and all 4 ingredients are right here. Our professors, you, the learners, your fellow students, and then of course the passage of time which we all experience. That is what makes for a great education. We've innovated enormously in terms of programs. We now have 4 immersions, not 2. We have the international immersion, the rural immersion, urban immersion, or My Impact as we call it, and our entrepreneurial immersion. Interestingly, and this is something that Varun will appreciate, every student while they are at MICA has to launch a business. It may or may not be successful, but either way, they will learn a lot from that business, from launching that business. And I'm happy to say that of the 49 businesses that were launched last year, 7 continued into the second year, and I'm sure many more will continue after the MICANs who are the founders will graduate. One of the most interesting developments at MICA has been the 3-track system that we've introduced, which recognizes great research, great teaching, a combination of those, and of course, great service. And I'm happy to say that MICA faculty have over the years won top awards nationally, not just in one area, but in economics, in history, in management overall. These are national level awards, the best researchers in these areas, and of course, most recently, the best teacher award amongst all management schools in the country. And these were respectively Professor Niyati Bhanja, Professor Harmony Singanporia, Professor Shefali Gupta, and Professor Pooja Thomas. So a big hand for them and all the others who have innovated enormously over the years, over the last 2 years in particular. If that were not enough, one of our faculty members has made an award-winning film that has won awards in festivals around the world. That is Mara Papa Superhero by U.T. Rao and Professor Darshan Trivedi. And there are many other awards. I have a whole 8-page list of accomplishments. I don't intend to read them all. We have 3 centers. We have 2 centers that already exist, CDM-C and CMES, and they are scaling new heights. But 3 more centers have been launched: CLIP, or Center for Learning and Innovative Pedagogy; CREM, or Center for Research Excellence in Marketing; and CSCRM, or Center for Sales, Research, and Customer Relationship Management. These will take MICA to new heights, both in terms of research and in terms of pedagogy. Our online programs continue to do extremely well. We crossed a very significant milestone of over 10,000 learners who've joined MICA's online programs, offered in partnership with many different partners like Upgrad, like Talent Edge, and many others. In 1 year, we are graduating more people in our online programs than all MICA alumni to date. So that is something that portends for some very interesting adaptations going forward. Very briefly, we have collaborations with many of the leading management schools around the world, and I include here the Broad College of Business at Michigan State, the Moody College of Communication at University of Texas, the University of Southampton in England, and the Rawls College of Business at Texas Tech University, among others. The yearly conferences and annual events that we have, ICMC, My Canvas, MICA Leadership Series, My Conclave HR are all scaling new heights. My Impetus, My Press, MICA APP, MICA Behavioral Lab, audio novels, MICA Manthan, Alumni Talkies, MICA's Pod Research Series, Research Colloquia, global webinars, My Empathy, all of these are projects and programs that we've launched. Globally, we've had very distinguished visitors come on campus, virtually in most cases, including Philip Kotler, the founder and the father of modern marketing, and many others. Our students have scaled new heights in excellence in terms of competitions, winning, for example, L'Oreal Brandstorm, Flipkart Wired, Amazon Smart Challenge, Titan Elevate, Google Case Challenge, Colgate Transcend, Tata Steel Athon, PepsiCo Dare to Do More Global Challenge. By the way, this was one where they went head-to-head with all the management schools and really came out on top globally. And this is Pepsi, no less, and BlackBerry's Supersonic. So a big hand for our students who won plaudits for us globally. And I will conclude very quickly by sharing with you our placements. Stellar year again for FPM students, of course. They have gone to some of the leading institutions in the world, and from there they are now spreading out globally. So a big hand for our FPM students who are now conquering the world, and indeed our CCC students and our PGP students, where we've had, of course, 100% placement for all of them, FPM, CCC, and PGP. And PGP in particular, this particular year, we had a 35% increase in the average compensation package, and the highest went up almost to 60 lakhs. So we are very, very proud of all the accomplishments of our students and of the entire team that basically was involved in that. The student committees, that is what makes MICA what it is. And we have theater in Sankalp, community radio in MICA Vani, community service with Jagriti, literature with Litcom, music with Studio 7, dance with Happy Feet, culture with Cultcom, marketing festival with My Canvas, consultancy with MICA Minds, placements with Placecom, media and PR with Team Interface, TED Talks with TEDx, TED Sports with SCAM, entrepreneurship with EDC, and the Alumni Engagement Committee. So a big hand for all these committees which make MICA what it is. I could go on, but let me conclude again with another couplet from Iqbal. And this is something that goes back to many of the themes that were echoed by our various speakers in various contexts. He said, and the term that he uses from Persian is sango kisht, that is bricks and mortar, or bricks and stones. So he says, Wahi jahan hai tera, jisko tu paida kare. The world is what you create. Ye sango kisht nahi jo teri nigah mein hai. It is not the bricks and stones that you see. So here is to all the MICANs, present and future, that they create the world in their own image, not just the sticks, not just the bricks and stones that they see in front of them. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. All the very best to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dua, Dr. Shurut, and governing council members, Professor Mehta, faculty and staff of MICA, the graduating students and their family members, including parents, our special guests, representatives of the electronic and print media, and anyone else I left out. To all our fresh graduates, you are starting today a lifelong learning journey, and it has just begun. And those of you who passed out a year or two earlier, but formally graduating today and are here with us. You would have learned by now that lifelong minus 1 year and lifelong minus 2 year is still lifelong. Now, the last few years have reminded us that in a rapidly changing world, sustaining communities at home and in the family, in the workplace, in the nation, and around the world are so valuable. In helping and nurturing all of us, we have to find restorative and regenerative ways to manage businesses and economy to strengthen the communities and collective well-being. In a recent report by the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, the emphasis is on the growth within a circular economy that approaches industrial and digital economy. Okay. And basically the purpose here is to focus on products, services, businesses, resource management to achieve shared value creation. We need to unlearn destructive growth practices within and around and learn the just, sensible, sustainable, and safe futures. The 5 critical dimensions of growth within are as follows. First is humanity, compassion, and empathy. That is, caring for all while practicing nonviolence as a way of life. Second, practice of circular economy. That is, mindfulness in design, production, supply chains, consumption, and recycle and reuse to preserve nature and culture and reduce pollution and waste. Third, digital and human intelligence. That is, ongoing learning and intelligence for individual, societal, and institutional evolution and transformation at the intersection of the digital and the human worlds, data and emotion, the left and the right brains. Fourth, global citizenship, and that's a very important one, an emerging one. That is, rising beyond narrow and parochial identities to embrace and respect every human being, culture, and community for the practice of global citizenship. And finally, and fifth, creative communities and tribes, connecting with creative individuals and communities around the world to strengthen the tribes that nurtures and protects us and give us meaning of life. In our sincere hope that MICAns will embrace these new world realities with grace and courage and have the genius and humility to contribute to growth within and inclusive growth all around. As Gandhiji said, self-governance, Swaraj, as I say, is the most important part of nation and world governance. Grief, mental health, and pain management is critical need in institutions and in society. Please stay healthy and happy in your continuing journey. Best wishes to you and your families. Enjoy the evening. And this is the message from Dean Shrove. And to my dear graduating students, let me append my congratulations and good wishes to you, and also urge you to metamorphose this universe to a better place, thus making your country proud of your global citizenship. Get it. Go out there, explore, thrill the world. India, tere naam par. All the best.
I declare the convocation closed. Please rise for the National Anthem.
I request the audience to remain standing till the last member of the faculty leaves the lawns. I also request the invited guests, parents and the students to join the chief guest, the chairperson of governing council, the president and the director, the dean and member of governing council for the dinner. Thank you.